Hola y gracias por estar con nosotros en un nuevo programa de El Mundo con nosotros.
Hello, and thanks for joining us on our show. As always, with us is Dr. Michael Lightman, and today we're going to talk about a very interesting subject, which is the way Kabbalists see the new world. We're going through many changes, and this is what we're going to talk about today in light of these changes. Thank you, Dr. Lightman. Thank you very much. I'm very happy that we have the opportunity to talk. So, the question would be, first of all, we'd like to understand more deeply, maybe more personally also, what Baal HaSulam says. Baal HaSulam wrote over 70 or 80 years ago an article called The Last Generation. It talks about our society today, about the changes that we have to go through. What does Baal HaSulam mean to you? Sorry, we can't hear you. I see him as a Kabbalist. It is my teacher. He is my teacher. He sheds light upon our entire generation. He especially explains the wisdom of Kabbalah for our generation, how by it we're supposed to advance toward attaining the upper spiritual world. How can we, by this, understand where we are, what state are we in, the reality that we're experiencing, what's going on with us, what does nature want from us, how do we behave accordingly, what should we do? Meaning, he explains the entire reality, how the whole of reality works, and how we have to find ourselves and be in this reality so that we will be well off. And in general, he explains to all of humanity how humanity has to connect, come together, what form should it take on in order to be well off, and so on. He is a person who cares for our well-being and good future. This is exactly my next question. What motivates a Kabbalist or Baal HaSulam, the Rav Yehuda Ashlag, to write such an article? He understands that nature has a plan. He knows that the system of nature that we are in, it influences us. He explains to us how can we adjust ourselves to this plan so that we and the plan, we and nature will be one integral part. So then we won't feel pressure from different sides, that nature will work on us in such a way that every time we will take on a more convenient, adjusted form to the system. He explains how we have to behave so that in every given moment, in whatever state we are in, that will feel good. If so, it's possible to say that Kabbalists are prophets. Kabbalists are not prophets, they are scientists. They know the laws of nature, how the laws of nature work, how they come down upon us and control us. And if we will know these laws, then according to these laws that come down upon us and operate us, we'll know how to go together with them in harmony, and things will be great. How, if so, does the Kabbalist have an ability? Does he have the integral vision to see what's going to happen in many years? Of course, because in nature, time does not exist. Time, it's only in relation to us. And if we rise a bit higher, then we can see from the beginning to the very end all of these processes as already existing. Only that they still haven't come down to us. So a Kabbalist, he can see what will happen in 100, 200, 300 years, because this plan is a very clear plan, and it exists in nature only in relation to us, in relation to human beings, because we don't change that fast. We're all the time discovering, to the measure to which we change, how nature wants to change us. And therefore, in relation to us, time exists. But above us, above our changes, time doesn't exist. This is something that you already have in quantum physics and in Einstein's theories, was known a long time ago. Baal HaSulam said that Baal HaSulam, he asked to come down from his degree. I'll read from his prophecy. He says, no matter what happens, and even if I descend from my exalted degree, I have to pour out this strong prayer to the Creator to give me attainment and understanding in the words of prophecy, and to have the proper language to explain to the people of the world in order to be able to elevate them to the same degree of good that I'm on. Yeah, what does he want to say? That maybe it'll hurt his personal attainment, but he wants to reveal the plan of nature, the future for all of mankind, because he is sure that by this we'll know what awaits us and how do we have to change, so that in all of our changes in the process that we go through, that will feel good all throughout the process. Out of his concern for us, he's willing to come down from his high degree to our level in order to be able to explain to us what to do to be well off. What does this descent mean, where he asked to be lowered in degree? That he had such an attainment in which he saw from one end to the other the entire history of thousands and maybe billions of years of what goes on in creation, in the universe, and he's willing to restrict his attainment and also maybe to be lowered in degree, so it will be clearer to him what is going on with us, to be closer to us, and also have the right language in order to be able to explain to us, and by that to benefit our life. And really, thanks to him, we know what is up ahead, what's going on with us, and we know how we have to behave in order to really be well off. And all of this is something that he made and prepared for us in order to arrange these attainments, these understandings, concepts for us. He himself, he lost a lot from his degree, and this is all to our benefit. For example, like a mother, she can be, suppose, the prime minister, but she leaves everything in order to be next to her children. What is your experience, your personal experience in this relation? Baal HaSulam talks about the last generation, this article, about a society of equals, but that still has to go through profound changes in order to come to that. And you, as the greatest Kabbalist of our time, how do you see this? You that see the world changing in front of your own eyes, what is your personal experience in relation to this? I study what Baal HaSulam wrote, and in general, I'm engaged in the wisdom of Kabbalah since 1975, more or less. And what can I say? That Throughout all of this time that I'm engaged in the wisdom of Kabbalah and I study Baal HaSulam, I see how right he is, and that everything that he said happens exactly in our time. And in every opportunity, I explain to everyone how much this person opened our eyes in order to see the plan of nature, the program in which we exist, and advance toward what goal, and how do we have to change in order to be well off so that nature won't pressure us, bend us, but that will be in harmony with nature. And therefore, I don't even have the words to thank him for the great favor that he did to humanity. Besides what Baal HaSulam saw 60, 70, or 80 years ago, what do you see today in this special state that we're experiencing? I really see that what he wrote in the beginning of the 20th century, I that live today in the beginning of the 21st century, I see that everything that he wrote is right, correct, and that it's happening. And I'm really grateful to him for giving his wisdom to everyone, and that we can be with wide open eyes to see our situation and what we have to do and how to be in order for things to be good for everyone. He really did something great. And also, besides for things to be good for all of us here, also the direction in which we have to advance. What form do we have to take on? And what kind of connection do we have to have? What kind of a society do we have to build? What kind of connections should we have in our families and society, our attitude toward children's education, toward nature, to the universe? It is a person who opens all of our horizons. He also explains to us about the upper world that is around our world. How can we achieve a state where we see our world in our lifetime, meaning that we can reveal the upper world, how it influences us, how we influence it, and then this way to see. In your personal case, I'm not talking on a personal level, you as a Kabbalist, do you see any new discernments, processes, in terms of things that you could add to this article of the last generation? Maybe something that's missing, and with your discernments you feel that you can add to that article? I don't think that there's that much to add. Of course, there are little details in relation to, suppose, the coronavirus that we're experiencing today, or different other small crises that we have experienced. But really, in general, in relation to all of these things, he wrote practically, globally. It's like in physics, we have some kind of formula that, suppose, Newton wrote, and today we also use the same formula in order to solve our current problems that we have today, that didn't exist in Newton's times, but we use the same formula in order to use it and solve today's problems. So we got the formula from Baal HaSulam, and the problems that awaken nowadays, we already understand how to relate to them and how to solve them. Exactly about how to solve this problem, I wanted to ask, what is the practical realization? Many people hear our shows and hear exactly this. What is the practical realization that there's no specific definition of what has to be done? I think that there's no problem. to understand the practical realization of Baal HaSulam's words or the wisdom of Kabbalah in general. The wisdom of Kabbalah is called the hidden wisdom. It's some kind of a secret wisdom that only the Jews have, and not only the Jews, but unique individuals. And really it was this way up until our time. But now it is revealed and open to everyone. Anyone can come and study and acquire it and become a Kabbalist and see the future and know all of the hidden and revealed laws of nature. Today, the wisdom of Kabbalah, it's the continuity of physics. Like we have ordinary physics, quantum physics, the very same way we have science, and we have the wisdom of Kabbalah in the same relation. And so we're living in a time where everyone will come to study and receive the knowledge from this about how to improve their life. But the realization of the method is by everyone coming closer to one another, getting closer, becoming more interdependent, because we really are interdependent. So the wisdom of Kabbalah teaches us how can we better relate to one another, and this way we will once build our society, the whole of human society, among everyone, including everyone, all of humanity, as a good, nice, and homogeneous society. Thank you very much, Dr. Leitman. If so, we can understand that we are in the last generation. Yes. And also, I want to thank you and all of our viewers.